everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Alex, and today's video was a mystery, and hopefully you kind of figured out, some of you did, the really obscure clue that I put up on the posts this week. But we're talking about Yone today, the sadder, mask-obsessed, deader version of Yasuo. Now while he does have two swords and murders fish for sustenance, he is a fun feast or famine champion that is very satisfying to play. In this video, we'll briefly go over his skills, take a look at what items he builds, and lastly focus on what you should be doing in the early game. Now, Yone's abilities make him a formidable champion in the right hands. Also, probably one of the most annoying champions after the Plague Summoner's Rift. I kinda just wish he wouldn't exist sometimes. Starting with Yone's passive, crit chance is multiplied by 2.5, but his crits do less damage than normal. And secondly, every second attack he does 50% physical damage and 50% magical damage. This makes building against Yone pretty difficult, but is really good if you're playing Yone because they'll build armor, but you deal a lot of magic damage. They build a lot of armor, but you deal a lot of physical damage. So it's kind of hard to build against them, while all the while you're knocking them up and doing things with your Q and you're ulting lots of magic damage with your other abilities. And speaking of, Yone's Q is just like Yasuo's. Using it makes you stab forward and do a lot of stabbing things with swords. Hit it twice, and your third Q will cause you to dash and send out a wind slash that knocks enemies up. Also, most importantly, its CD and cast time benefit from attack speed, so the CD will be lower, and the cast time will be lower and faster when you have more attack speed. This is your most important ability. You gotta hit it, and hitting it means winning a 1v3 when the support and jungler decide they're bored of being side characters, alright? Now, his W is a sweeping attack that deals physical and magical damage. When it hits, you gain a shield that gets stronger the more enemy champions you hit, but also additionally, its CD and cast time are also reduced by attack speed. So more attack speed equals more good on Yone. Next, his E is what makes Yone, the most iconic ability of Yone. When you activate it, you split from your real body and gain movement speed. And then when it's reactivated, or runs out of time, you return back to your body and deal true damage based on the amount of damage you dealt in spirit form. Now, I don't know why I have to say this, but this is not an escape ability. Don't try to E away to get away. Don't try to E over wall to escape from a gang. Don't try to use it to run away from people or use your ult or whatever, Q3, anything. Use it to dodge things, use it to engage, and lastly, Yone's ultimate. It performs a large forward slash that knocks enemies up and teleports him behind the enemy that is farthest away, dealing physical and magic damage just like everything else in his kit. Now while your E isn't your escape, this can be. Don't be hesitant in using it to get away from ganks or dangerous situations, but remember, like I said, don't just use it don't use it while you're using your E to get away. Again, E is not an escape tool, this is by itself. Now, if you play Yasuo, Yone will feel pretty similar. And just like Yasuo and every other squishy AD champion, you'll be building the best item in the game, Immortal Shield Bow. Kraken was cool a while ago, but that's old news. And with the advent of Axiom Mark, we're going to need more life to not be unlifed by Sharp, Sharper, and Sharpest over there. Your second item is going to fluctuate a bit, and in most games you'll be building Infinity Edge, standard Weeb Warrior item. But the other go-to is Mortal Reminder. There are two reasons why you would buy Mortal over IE. One, there's too much healing on the enemy team. They got Vlad, they got Nunu, lots of Conqueror, whatever. They got lots of healing on the team. You need Mortal Reminder to curb that down. Secondly, you're behind and need to hit your power spike faster. Mortal Reminder is cheaper than IE and can help you reach your 100% crit chance much faster. And it also gives good movement speed and attack speed, which ultimately fuel your Q and your W cooldown and cast time. Now the rest of your items can range from more damage to more defense. And really, once you have your 100% crit chance, you can quite just build whatever we want. It has lots of flexibility. Things like Wit's End and Death's Dance are great for defense, and if you did go Mortal Reminder, you can pick up that IE a little bit later on to give you a nice spike in damage. Now your runes are going to fluctuate a bit depending on who you're up against in mid. Right now, Lethal Tempo is the rune everyone is talking about, and it's basically the new Conqueror. It works perfectly in Yone since it gives you a lot of benefits to your Q and your W because it gives you extra attack speed, meaning your cast times will be faster. The extra attack range also gives Yone a lot of power throughout the game. Now, it'll probably be nerfed in the future since it's, the new hotness and everyone's using it basically. Every single melee champion who has any auto attack things will probably use it. And speaking of Conquer, like I said, it's still a solid rune to take. But again, lethal is usually just better until it's a bit more balanced and is not as good as it is right now. Now, your second runes are super important and are necessary to make sure you don't sprint towards your 0-10 power spike. It's more like a marathon to your 0-10 power spike. Here's the gist of it. Bone Plating for high melee burst, second wind for poke, unflinching for heavy CC. Again, you're speccing to make your early game as smooth as possible. I can't stress that enough. Your early game is like the most important part for most champions, but especially for a Feast and Famine champion like Yone. Now speaking of champions, melee matchups like Fizz, Akali, and Talon are going to be pretty rough because they outdamage you 100% in the early game. So be safe and play around your Q3 since most people won't fight you when it's up. You're trying to rush Berserker Graves first. So once you have 1100 gold, go back and you'll be in a good spot to try and trade a lot more since it gives you a lot more sword per sword, so you can sword them with your sword. Also, additionally, I want to mention, because I totally forgot to write this down, the difference between taking Doran's Blade and Doran's Shield. This is kind of a decent decision. A lot of times when up against melee champions, I go with Doran's Blade. If I'm up against a lot of poke, I go with Doran's Shield. But if I know I'm going to be poked a lot by a melee champion, I will go Doran's Shield for the extra sustain. Having your one resource in the game is health, and having a lot of it matters. So if you're trying to make your early game smooth, you want to like kind of focus on that a little bit more. Now, once you dodge getting one shot by Zed and an infinite Nudu ganks, you might actually make it to your 100% crit power spike, and then you can play your champion. Like then you're a champion now. Congrats, like let's have a party. Like I said before, most melee matchups are pretty difficult since a lot of them outdamage you in the early game. Some other notable mentions are Kiana and Zed, but you should just ban Zed all the time, every game. And also anyone with mobility will give you a hard time, like Ahri and Lucian. Just all the mobility allows them to kind of dodge all your important stuff like your Q3 and your ulti. Now I already said Zed was really good ban, but Vex is also a really good ban. She doesn't make it totally unplayable like Zed, but she can make laning difficult with her AoE fear and her defensive abilities with her shield and everything. She's kind of an anti-melee champion of her own. Like, she's pretty good at fighting melee champions. Now you might be wondering, Alex, Yone is Yasuo's older brother, and he has way more swords per square feet. Does that mean he has more power than Yasuo's ridiculous hair bun?
Look at the top of his head!
Well, funny you may ask, because Yasuo's just a better champion. Like, in the early game, at least, his shield is way better, his mobility trumps yours, and his wind wall counters your Q3. If you're up against a decent Yasuo player, then you need to take a breather. Slow it down, get through the lane phase, focus on farming. If you have a jungler gank, sure, try to engage. Like, jungle ganks kind of change the game a little bit. A quick trick with them, by the way, though, if you do end up kind of fighting him a little bit more, you can get around his wind wall with your Q3. If you activate it while inside of him, the wind slash will get blocked, and you'll manage to knock him up. Now, before we end here, I just want to go over some quick tricks with Yone. Firstly, if you use W, then Q immediately afterwards. It's kind of an animation cancel. It's kind of similar to Yone's wind wall animation cancel with his Q. It can make it go a little bit faster, especially once you like have a lot of attack speed. It makes it really quick, like combo and stuff like that. Second, if you use your ult right at the end of your E's duration, it'll actually prolong the duration until you finish ulting, so you can kind of get some last hits in there. Third, your E cleanses you out of most immobilizes when you activate it right at the end, right at the like when the immobilize or CC hits you, or at the end of the duration, like if you manage to do that. Timing it right can save you from CC that would otherwise cancel your subscription on life. Like, let's talk about Zoe E, Bubble, let's talk about Morgana Q. Like, you can kind of negate those things with your ulti, actually with your E. And I've done it once, and I don't know if it's true. You can tell me in the comments below. You can actually cancel or like ignore Camille's ultimate with your E if you time it correctly. I think I've done it before. It was really in the midst of battle, I couldn't really tell, so tell me in the comments below if that's a possibility. But yeah, your E is actually a very powerful ability that allows you to ignore a lot of immobilize and weird CC abilities. Not all CC, but other things, like immobilizes mainly. Immobilizes and other like weird CC abilities that aren't actual stuns. And yeah, that's it. That's all I really want to talk about Yone. Thank you so much for watching. I've really miss making these guide videos, but a lot of times I just make guide videos based on the champions that I'm playing or the things that I'm interested in the game at the moment, like the things that I'm learning personally. So I've been playing a lot of Yone because I've actually kind of enjoyed playing him. I know it's like whatever. I'm known for by you guys like playing weird champions like Azir and Brilliant Soul, and I still play those guys, and I am planning on making some videos on them since the new items came out. But I've been playing a lot of Yone. I've been really having a lot of fun with him. It's just like kind of a different play style, and it kind of feeds into my ADHD brain, just like, oh, something new and different all the time. And I'm just like kind of trying to practice it a little bit more because I think it'll help me. And hopefully this video helps you. So please do leave a like if you enjoyed and got something out of the video. Do leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about Yone. Do you play a lot of Yone? Do you like Yone? Do you dislike Yone? Leave it down below. Do subscribe if you enjoy videos like this. I make guide videos like this one and also do some other fun league content as well. Also, I stream on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come around if you want to just like hang out, play some video games, or just watch me completely embarrass myself in front of a few people. So yeah, there you go. And thank you so much if you made it this far. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!